The author of Robert Kiyosaki's book says he had two fathers, his own biological father and the father of his best friend. Robert's biological father had a doctorate and taught at the university. His second father, from whom Robert learned about becoming rich, didn't even finish high school and gained practical knowledge on his own. Initially, both fathers earned enough money. However, when they passed away, one died as the richest man in Hawaii, leaving millions of dollars to his family. The second father left behind debts and unpaid taxes for his family. Kiyosaki emphasizes that making money is a science not taught in schools. Schools teach us how to be employees and build a career, leading parents to impart similar teachings to their children, directing them towards becoming employees. If you come from a middle-class family, there's a high probability that your parents may have unknowingly taught you to be poor. This isn't because they don't want your success, but simply because they themselves lack education on the subject. They consumed outdated information, passing the same expired information to you when you were born. Poverty is almost genetic from one generation to another. Parents from middle-class families often advise their children to study hard, get a diploma, and find a stable job. However, learning from books like this one, Kiyosaki discovered that he gained more knowledge from some of these books compared to his entire university years. If you also come from a middle-class family and haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I highly recommend that you do. Kiyosaki wishes someone had recommended it to him when he was 14 or 15. Many things could have been positively different in his life if he had read it earlier. In this video, I will discuss 7 key ideas from the book. The first idea revolves around the importance of financial education and understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. Grasping this distinction is the most crucial step toward becoming rich. In brief, assets are things that put money into your pocket, while liabilities are things that take money out. For example, if you have a car that you rent out, generating monthly income, it is an asset. However, if the car incurs expenses for repairs, maintenance, etc., it becomes a liability. Examples of assets include rental properties, company stocks, precious metals, etc. On the other hand, liabilities include your residence, the phone you use, or the car you drive. Rich individuals focus on increasing their assets, whereas poor individuals invest in liabilities, eroding their income. Poor individuals may purchase an iPhone as an expense, while rich individuals invest in financial shares of Apple, which are assets that appreciate over time. Unlike the phone, which loses value upon leaving the store, growing assets are akin to planting a tree. You must nurture them for years until their roots are deep enough to provide shade and bear fruits for your enjoyment. Unfortunately, many people seek quick wealth without learning about money, akin to constructing a skyscraper with little to no foundation. This is why you witness individuals making loads of money only to lose it all after a few years. The second idea is this: the rich don't work for money, their money works for them. At a very young age, Robert had his first business partner, a schoolmate, and they worked for the rich dad who taught them lessons on how to make money. The first rule they learned was that the rich don't work hard for money. Their money works hard for them. Rich individuals use their brains to find ways for their money to work for them 24 hours a day. From the perspective of a rich person, each earned dollar becomes a small employee working hard to earn another. In contrast, the poor and the middle class are guided by fear or desire. They fear not being able to pay their bills, so they work even harder. When they earn more money, their desire kicks in, and they start spending on liabilities like fancier cars, bigger houses, etc. Due to these fears and desires, they are reluctant to invest their money and time in new opportunities, fearing they might lose it. Instead, they go buy a larger TV, even if they already have one. In comparison, a rich person invests money without hesitation. Even if they lose it all, they still gain an advantage because they learn something, and this knowledge becomes a valuable asset for their future investments. On the other hand, the TV loses most of its value after a few months, and you end up losing your money anyway, plus missing the opportunity to learn something new. The third idea is about understanding taxes, accounting, and the law. According to Kiyosaki, earning a lot of money doesn't solve problems. Learning how to keep that money after earning it does. If a rich person earns $100,000, they keep it all. However, if a poor or middle-class person earns $100,000, they rejoice initially, but end up paying between 30 and 40% in taxes. Kiyosaki explains that initially there were no taxes, and the government created taxes to punish the rich and give to the poor. The government employed the Robin Hood mentality, and people supported it, but the rich were smart and found legal ways not to pay taxes. One of the significant differences is that the poor and the middle class earn money, pay taxes on that money, and live with what is left. On the other hand, the rich earn money, spend all they can, and pay taxes on what remains. The fourth idea is that the rich invent money. The author suggests that everyone is born with talent, but this talent is suppressed due to debt and fear. He argues that it's not necessarily the smart and educated who succeed, but the bold and adventurous. Many people, even if they have a lot of money, do not advance economically because they have opportunities they can't seize due to fear and doubt. The author encourages people to create their luck instead of waiting for it, stating the same applies to money. It should be created. The fifth idea is to work to learn, not work for money. Kiyosaki shares that his poor dad, smart and well-educated, worked for money because job security meant everything to him. In contrast, his rich dad became a millionaire by working to learn. The author advises young people to seek jobs where they can learn more than they earn, especially in areas like sales, communication, marketing, accounting, leadership, etc. During an interview with a journalist, Robert Kiyosaki learned that she strived to become the best-selling author. He realized she was a great writer, but needed to embrace sales. When he suggested she take a sales course to promote herself, she defensively replied that she had a master's in English literature and hated salespeople. Kiyosaki gently pointed out that he was the best-selling author, not necessarily the best-written one, and the interview concluded. The world has many successful and talented individuals, such as doctors, lawyers, dentists, who still struggle financially. However, as a wise business consultant once said, they are a skill set away from great wealth. Combining your skill set with financial intelligence, accounting, investment, marketing, and law, you could amass significant wealth. If that journalist had chosen a job in advertising to learn how to sell, she could continue to create substantial wealth with her writing. The rich dad says you have to know a little about a lot in school, while at work, it's expected that you specialize. Those who earn promotions are often specialists. However, Robert Kiyosaki's rich dad always recommended the opposite. Over the years, Robert worked in different areas of his rich dad's company. It was expected that he attend meetings with lawyers, bankers, and accountants. For the rich dad, it was essential that Robert knew all aspects of building an empire. Idea 6. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Most people never win because they fear losing or failing. Observing how humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes. We learn to walk by falling. If we never fell, we would never walk. The same is true for learning to ride a bike. It's also true for getting rich. Failure is part of the process of success. Kiyosaki views his money game much like his tennis game. He plays hard, makes mistakes, corrects them, makes more mistakes, corrects and improves. If he loses the game, he reaches the net, shakes hands with his opponent, smiles and says, "See you next Saturday." He emphasizes that many people who tried to start their own business failed and eventually gave up after 3 or 4 failures. It surprises him how these people expected success after a few attempts. Quitting after 3 or 4 failures is like starting to go to the gym to get fit, but stopping after a few days because you don't see any results. If you want to get fit, you must be consistent. Change your workout routine if it's not effective. Try a different diet. Try a different trainer until you find what works for you. Unfortunately, people don't apply the same mentality when it comes to being financially fit. Here's a bonus idea. Don't focus on your income, focus on your assets. The rich build their asset column first, and only then do the incomes generated by the asset column buy their luxuries. First, they buy assets like businesses or real estate, and if the assets generate good income, they use it to buy the car. They always focus on the asset first. Financial education is the key to creating wealth. The sooner you start learning and applying it, the sooner you'll achieve financial freedom. Robert Kiyosaki. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found the content enjoyable or helpful, a thumbs up would mean the world to me. Your support truly makes a difference. Don't forget to subscribe for more engaging content.